Welcome back. After the top court ordered all stray dogs in Delhi NCR to be taken off the streets within the next 8 weeks and moved to monitored shelters, we've seen a national fight erupt. The decision has triggered a nationwide divide, with animal rights groups calling it a death sentence for street dogs, while supporters say public safety must come first. Amid this deadlock between the judiciary, the Delhi government and animal welfare activists, we have a new voice who comes with a different approach. We introduce you to Aseem Gupta, founder of Marshi. He is a pet tech entrepreneur working on a patented implantable microchip for dogs. The chip can record temperature, health history and location and can be read through RFID scanners or even smartphones. Installed at feeding points and entry gates, possibly lifts in residential societies too. These readers send real-time data to a central server, flagging illness or aggression before an incident occurs. It's a technology-driven plan that promises early rabies detection, targeted interventions and the ability to manage dog populations without removing every animal from the street. While his proof of concept is still being set up in India with components being imported, he says the model has been proven abroad and could be adapted in urban India. This morning, we put the idea to test, asking whether technology can really bridge this gap between public safety and compassion, and if it can be scaled quickly enough to meet the top court's demands. Aseem, very good morning. Thank you for joining us live on the Breakfast Club. Hope you're doing well. Without wasting any time, tell us, what is this technology that can really put a full stop to this ongoing discussion? There's so much misery that's coming in for dog lovers, so much misery coming in for people who've really had a bad experience with community dogs. How can tech change that?
Well, I would probably start off by saying that necessity is the mother of innovation. So when you look at other PPP models, such as baggage handling at the Delhi airport, which had long queues earlier, and now it's just completely seamless. Or even if you look at a satellite program, which the government just launched yesterday with private partnerships, you can see how entrepreneurs and innovation is helping take the nation forward, not by strides, by entire strides. So, that being said, I would say that when urban problems in terms of cities are faced, and when we have lovely programs such as the Smart City project, wherein you can easily see Jaipur doing a lot with its waste management, for example. Moreover, Jaipur has also been mentioned by our Honorable Minister of Home Affairs at the time, Kiran Rijiju ji, in terms of managing the stray population well. I would say that when it comes to overall management of strays in the country, yes, it's a large number. India is home to 180 million dogs in total, out of which 30 million are around pet dogs. The rest are strays. Delhi itself has a population between 8 lakh to 10 lakhs. And if you compare that to Singapore, now Singapore is a city which is pioneering in terms of having strays and at the same time being one of the best cities in the world to live in.
Yeah.
Singapore has around 7,000 stray dogs and it allocates only about 5 to 6 crores on them. And this has a program which is called TNRM. And I would say that Delhi can also probably take a step even in front of that and introduce measures which can control the state population and increase the trust in terms of the animal and human relationships by bringing in technologies which encourage friendliness rather than scare people
You know,
and
I
lock
sense,
away
I sense,
animals.
Aseem, you don't want to give away too much, and that is understandable. But tell us broadly, how does this function? You gave a very interesting example of what happens at toll booths, for instance. But if we're talking about tech innovation, which is going to ensure that in residential colonies, in all of these feeding spots, people are going to be aware of whatever history that dog carries. How is that going to happen, and how achievable, how realistic is this?
I'll be very precise in terms of I'll break the problem down into two parts. One is pet dogs and the other is stray dogs.
Yeah.
Pets is generally easier. So in pets, let us assume that you're in a society and you have dogs over there. we can very easily put these microchips onto the dogs over there and put the readers up at the lifts, which are the entry and exit points, and also at the entry and exit points of the gate of the society. What the chip essentially does then is that it reads the data of, which is primarily the temperature, the medical history, as well as the location of the dog. So, in case you've got the dog being aggressive, the ID logs it. Secondly, it also logs in the temperature, which is a precursor to rabies. If a dog has rabies, he most definitely has fever. So this solves the issue out in terms of aggressive dogs in societies, or as well as rabies infected dogs in societies. Now let us come down to the stray population. Now, as per the ABC Act, we're very clearly been told that there need to be designated feeding areas. Now, all we need to do is carry on the ABC over there, which has been successfully done in other cities in the country, such as Jaipur, Jodhpur, Ooty, etc., Sikkim. And after that is done, we just install RFID readers over here, and RFID readers can very easily pick up any stray with a high temperature. The RFID reader has an IoT SIM in it, which is the Internet of Things SIM, which is broadcast the entire data over to a cloud. You run an algorithm on the cloud, which basically alerts the command center of any dog with a high temperature. And thereafter, you mobilize people with a specific input on location as well as on the dog ID itself. So it's
Okay,
a scientific
so by doing
solution
that,
wherein
you don't have to necessarily relocate anyone. As part of the entire ABC process, once you sterilize, vaccinate the dogs when they're taken back to their original location, with this tech in place, with this kind of technology in place, with people being made aware of this, with this perhaps being carried out in pilot in some of the parts, you're saying a broader change can come about in the long term. So we're looking at what stage exactly right now? And how much
well,
more needs to
the
be done for a plan like yours to see success? How much more needs to be done?
Firstly, the government needs to approve a pilot in a district where it is having issues. Secondly, I would say that technologies are generally use cases. This technology was developed for microchips in humans. However, it is safe for humans and it is safe for animals. So we can implement this technology in dogs, and thereafter, if the pilot is successful, you can save a lot of money on it. Because if you look at the stray population in Delhi, it's 10 lakh dogs. Even if you're feeding one dog worth 55 rupees a day, so that comes to 5.5 crore rupees
Yeah.
a day. And very frankly, with a budget of only 17,000 crores in the MCD, this is a massive burn.
Okay. Aseem, now I want to ask you whether or not this has been put to test already. We spoke broadly of how countries abroad are looking at it. When I had a conversation with you, you spoke of how this is happening on certain animals in reserves, for instance, tigers, for instance, because we want to protect them. So tell us a little bit about where all it's been practiced and to what extent.
I would say the microchips and readers have been there, and they're very much external as well as internal, depending on the type of tracking you want to do in the animal. If you look at the large reserves, you'd see that the tigers and the leopards, which are looking at, which we're having over here, have trackers on them, which provide you information on vitals as well as location. Now, it is very hard for them to microchip all of them and also ensure what do you call that the signals are picked up. So I would say that this particular chip has not been implemented. However, if you look at the use case of the technology, when an RFID is being used to locate animals and check their vitals, the national reserves and our flagship programs on the leopard, on the cheetah, as well as the tiger, are big examples of that.
Aseem, thank you so much. This is such an interesting concept. Thank you for taking us away from the noise and actually asking us to think into some of the innovative ways we can put a full stop to this entire problem.